Well, it's almost 2 years, but the surviving brother of accused inflicting the murderous carnage at the Boston Marathon is now facing some of his victims in court. Now, there are 30 federal charges against 21-year-old Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. They range from the use of weapons of mass destruction to the shooting of a police officer. Well, the defense does not deny that Tsarnaev participated in the attack. Apparently, they are going to claim there was a mitigating factor, the strong influence of his older brother, Tamerlan. Tamerlan died after a shootout with police. Monique Pressley is a criminal defense attorney and legal commentator. Monique, of course, welcome to Arise Review. The trial began with extremely emotional testimony from some of the victims describing their ordeals. Is it unusual for such testimony so early in a trial?
Well, this isn't really a typical trial, Julian, and thanks for having me back. This is one of those cases where the defense put up front early, look, he did it, and basically have been letting everyone know that they're going to be putting on a death penalty defense, not a defense to find him not guilty of the charges. So because of that, you'll find that the state in this case is bringing forth evidence to put forth enough of it in volume, really, sheer volume and just trauma of all of these stories in order for the jury to reach not just a guilty verdict, but they're going for the full verdict that he should be sentenced to death.
Well, you know, Clark, of course, the defense attorney here, is known for getting a number of people off of death row. We can go down the list here. The Olympic bomber, and then, of course, I think it's a Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, so on and so forth. But the thing that I want you to see if you can straighten this out for me, and especially the viewers here. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev pleaded not guilty. But Clark comes out and says, well, look, he did it. And I'm just wondering, just because of that, does this perhaps open this up for a mistrial? Monique?
Oh, hi. I couldn't hear you, Julian. I thought you were talking to someone else. No, it doesn't open it up for a mistrial. It actually is just something that's commonly done. He has pled not guilty, which is in his rights, but it's not guilty because they're going to say that he was under the influence of his older brother, that he wasn't fully responsible for his actions, that this was something basically that he was led, coerced, influenced to do, and that is something that you will see, especially when you have younger defendants such as Tsarnaev.
I talked about the mood of the country, Monique, right now with, of course, the rising incidents of terror. We've seen video of ISIS, ISIL, whatever you want to call them, around the world, the Mideast, where the country in the past probably did not like the death penalty, or, they didn't want it as much, of course, with DNA evidence. But the way the country is looking at things now, do you think there'll be a lot of opposition if he is charged with death in this case?
Well, because of the mood of the country and the number of people, Julian, who were directly traumatized, whose lives are never going to be the same again, I really don't think that you're going to see as much outrage as you have in other cases. There are those who do not believe that the death penalty is appropriate in any case, but this is certainly something that's available to the attorneys to ask for in this case. And I think that you'll find, because these were in essence crimes against our country, that we're not going to see the same amount of outrage. I really believe that the only hope that this young man has for staying alive, and that's what this case is coming down to, is the defense that his attorneys are putting on right now.
Monique, I just need a quick answer for you. I guess the key question here is the defendant, Dzhokhar, likely to take the stand in his defense?
I don't think he has any choice. If he's going to humanize himself, if he's going to actually prove up this defense that he was under the influence of his brother, which is going to be disingenuous at best, because they have in the trial a note that he was writing up until the time that he was captured, which was basically saying that what was done was justified. But if he has any hope of staying alive, it will be humanizing himself. The juries are often loath to do it once they actually reach out and feel the humanity of the person who they would ultimately be sentencing to death. That's his only chance. So I would expect to see him on the stand.
All right. Well, the nation, indeed the world, will be glued to this trial. Monique Pressley, thank you as always.
Thank you.